Welcome to Gamesthetic, episode 203. I'm Alex Light with Sparky3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today. Whatever day you are listening or watching this show, we appreciate you. I got both the boys in here with me. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
Good day today?
Yeah.
Shout out. What about you, John? How are you?
I'm doing all right.
How's Astrobot?
I mean, the game's good. I just, after I started playing it, remembered pretty abruptly, I don't like platformers.
That was the first thing he said when he came in here. He's like, the game's good, but I remembered I hate platformers.
I've never really liked them. The game's fun. I'm still playing it because, honestly, the level design in each world is
Insane.
really fun.
Yeah.
So it's I'm still playing it. The main levels themselves I like. I don't like all the extra shit.
Right.
But I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah. There are some extra shit that can be quite annoying.
Yeah.
The PlayStation symbol levels absolutely suck. They can be fun.
I have not enjoyed a single one of those.
Yeah, no, they suck and they just get worse. They just get worse.
No, half the reason why I'm still adamant to play it, playing the game, even though I am enjoying it for the most part,
Right.
is I gotta empty out the gacha shop.
Oh. I didn't even finish doing that. I got to 150 for the achievement or whatever.
I'm halfway right now. Every time I go back, I just spend all of my money to open up the gacha shop.
No, you also need to finish it just because you really do need to experience that last level. That last level is so much attention to detail. It's so fun.
Oh, that's the other thing. It's granted, there are a lot of really cool bots, a lot of characters brought back that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Really cool to see it. Majority of the bots are just bots.
True.
But I like seeing all the bots just roaming around in the hub city.
Yeah,
and then opening the gacha shop, getting all the weird costumes and colors for the controller.
And getting their gear. The bots walking around getting their stuff.
So yeah, and it's that's fun to see. But the game is still fun.
Right.
It's fun. Just not a platforming guy, but I'm gonna still beat it.
Yeah, you gotta beat it, man. And when you do, I gotta know your thoughts on that last level because it is great. It is really, really good. No, for today's show though, we do have the Xbox Developer Direct with the mystery game being Ninja Gaiden with a surprise drop and a reveal of Ninja Gaiden 4. So that all looks pretty sick. And of course, South of Midnight Expedition 33, which is one of our most anticipated games of the year, and Doom: The Dark Ages. Beyond that, there was Xbox and Phil Spencer doubling down on the multi-plat future. So we'll touch on that and a couple other things, as well as the potential of $100 games in the future, and really whatever else we want to chat about and ramble on about. Make sure to check out the Patreon. Shout out to your 2 patron Hannah. We appreciate you. We are going to work on your topic request here soon. Don't shake your head. We're going to work on it. We're gonna work on it. Okay, we're going to tag team work on this. Stop it, John. Both of you. So negative. But also join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend, check out our sponsors, Rogue Energy Agent Inc. with the links down below. And we'd appreciate that support. So, anyway, let's jump into things, boys.
How do you find anything on Peacock?
What are you looking for on Peacock?
Why are you using Peacock?
Because
there's no wrestling event tonight.
Saturday night's main event.
Oh, is that tonight? Oh, never mind. I lied.
Yeah, next week's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, shit. We gotta work on that, huh?
Yeah, it's Saturday night's main event.
Okay.
Tonight.
So I mean,
it's not the greatest show.
Does that mean we're taking a break next week for y'all to watch the Royal Rumble?
That's a good question.
God dang it.
The Royal Rumble's a big event, Bubs.
I guess it depends on what time it starts.
That is true, and it's here in the States, so I don't know. That's a great question. You're off Saturdays now, right?
Yep.
Well, we're all off Saturday, so we could bump the show up earlier in the day. That is a possibility. I don't know. I'm glad you mentioned that because people listen to the show. We'll figure out what happens to the show next week. We also need to plan to do ATWS, so I've got to work on that. I got some traveling going on Wednesday. I'll be back Thursday, but I don't know what time. So either Thursday or Friday, try to do an episode. I don't know. We'll figure. We'll
figure that out.
Yeah,
later.
We'll talk. We'll figure it out. But anyway, let's talk some games though. We're here to talk games. Xbox Developer Direct, top to bottom. For me personally, I loved this Direct. Like the 3 games we already knew about. Very excited for 2 of them, especially one of them. Was very lukewarm excited for Doom. And then whatever the mystery game was, that was just kind of a bonus. But I walked away with all 4, presentations for it. I thought was incredible. I mean, shout out to Ninja Gaiden. I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4 getting the big announcement, 6 to 7 years in development. Phil Spencer talked about that in the interview. We'll touch on here in a bit. Looks sick. Introduction to a new character. Yeah. And then the surprise drop of Ninja Gaiden 2, the remaster of it.
Yeah, that was sort of nice of them just being, they're a mystery game, and that was just their first one. They just rolled right into it.
Yeah.
I'm glad, Team Ninja.
Yeah, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they just rolled right into the mystery game.
I'm going to be honest, watching that trailer, because it has been so long since a Ninja Gaiden, and that it did Platinum in association with Platinum Games.
Yep.
During that first half of that trailer, I would have been like, is this Ninja Gaiden? What the hell is this? Because it is a new character who's never been in the game before.
Right.
I was looking and going is it Gaiden? Well, I knew it was Gaiden because I saw people talk about it, but when I finally watched it, but if I initially watched it, I'm not sure what the hell this is until Ryu shows up. I'm like,
yeah, okay, here we go.
So, meanwhile, I watched it later, and I just opened up the live stream they did. I hadn't seen any of the announcements or that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's just scroll to see when they start showing off the first game. As soon as the gameplay started, because I skipped everything before that, and I clicked on it, I was watching it. I'm like, that's some Ninja Gaiden looking ass shit right here. and then it's it kept going. I'm like, oh, it is Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. I mean, I would have just been unsure about it because of just how long it had been. But I mean, I guess I would have figured out because they said long-standing new mainline in the game.
Right, yeah. Honestly, it's with Ninja Gaiden 4 and even the remaster of 2, I was going to point this out for you, Bubs. I mean, it's like the year of Koei Tecmo, right out of the gate, man.
And Koei Tecmo's just doing their thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're vibing so far
Mega
this year.
Force with a new Dynasty Warriors, Team Ninja coming out with all the Ninja Gaiden games this year.
Yeah, because you got Ragebound, the 2 black, and then 4, and then you have also Alteria Yuma. You got a new one of those.
Which I don't remember which developer works on that.
Yeah, but I mean, Koei Tecmo's they rocking this year.
They publish them.
Yeah, they doing work, man. But no, I mean, overall, that was a really sick announcement with the new Pro Tag, which is featuring him from the Raven clan, which is direct rivals to the Hayabusa clan. So that's going to be a nice little back and forth between the 2 characters and the distinct play styles throughout the game. Ninja Gaiden is not necessarily a series I don't think any of us have really heavily dove into. I've played 2 on the OG Xbox. I do want to download this remaster on Game Pass, and I've played 3. Enjoy. They're fun. They're fun games. I mean, it's fun action games, right? And you mentioned before the show, they kind of laid the groundwork for almost like Souls games to come, to an extent.
Yeah, games like that and DMC, the classic sort of action fighter games, pretty much.
So it's just overall, it's cool to see this this property kind of get some love, more than just the Rage Bound that we saw at, I think, Game Awards.
Yeah.
And then Xbox Studios publishing it. I mean, it's just technically kind of like a first party game. Mm-hmm. I saw someone make a comment about that too, since it's Platinum working on it and everything as well, where it's someone said I kind of feel like this is almost like Phil Spencer and Xbox's apology letter to Platinum with Scalebound. It's like, hey, I'm sorry we shafted you on Scalebound. Go work on Ninja Gaiden. Go have fun there. You know what I mean? And I saw people say, well, I still want Scalebound. I kind of still want Scalebound.
A lot of people still want Scalebound.
A lot of people still want Scalebound.
But I mean, the real nice thing about this announcement is because they mentioned that this is the first mainline game in 10 years.
Yeah.
They have set it up in a way where you don't need to really know anything from any of the previous games. You can just come right into it because it's sort of hinted and showed off with the trailer that the main initial focus is going to be on our new character, and then Ryu's son going to come in at some point, midway in, and sort of made it seem like.
Yeah. Which, I think we can all agree. Anytime you have an older property getting a new game and developers taking the approach of anyone can come into this game, that is the right move.
Yes.
10 times out of 10, that is always the right move.
I feel like that way any game series that hasn't released a game in 4 or 5 years and they went the 10-year route. So
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I think we can all agree to that. If you have a new game, cool. There's going to be different references, or whatever. That's you're going to notice and know from the previous games if you played them. But it needs to be new player friendly, or it's just like why are you even making this game? To an extent, it's like why are you making this game? But either way, it's coming out this fall, so that's something to watch for, especially for the official release date and everything.
and then them being exceptional marketers of just shadow dropping Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, a definite remaster edition of 2,
Yep.
which was also one that you needed no context from the previous game really to play. So
Yep. I saw that it was already like a top 10 seller on Steam.
Yep.
And it was already rated like almost like I think it's rated like a 4.9 on the Xbox Game Store.
that doesn't surprise me.
So yeah, I mean either. I mean a lot of people like to call this one like the best action.
Oh, in
action
terms of
games of all time.
Ninja Gaiden series, most
Yeah.
definitely. 2 was by far the best.
Yeah, I mean like this is a game that people like hold as like one of the goats kind of thing. So I mean shout out to that, man. Like I said, I want to download it, especially since it's on Game Pass. Next up, we had South of Midnight, though. This is a game that I know Zach and I, at least for sure, have been really interested in since the initial trailer. John's kind of had his eye on it too. Overall, I think the entire presentation they had for it was pretty sick. We did get the release date of April 8th. Shout out to that. Busy few months coming up, especially April. But it just really emphasized on like that dark modern folktale style, like in a fictional, Americanized Deep South, whatever. Really focused on that. Kind of gave you the general premise of like what you're going to be doing and working on, where it's like trying to find your mother. I mean, they essentially established that about midway through the presentation, where at the beginning it's like kind of towards the beginning, it's like you get some story tidbits where there's a hurricane about to go down. They kind of get in a little bit of a fight kind of thing. Hurricane kind of sweeps things away, and then everything goes to shit, and there's a lot of magical stuff kind of getting involved. And as well as her discovering that she is a weaver and can essentially kind of weave the world.
Well, backtrack that. She wasn't a weaver. She was chosen to be a weaver.
Yeah, chosen to be a weaver. Correct. And just kind of emphasizing really on the very unique kind of world that has been created with this Deep South kind of folklore and everything. And we were talking before the show. It's like when I was watching this, and like just like with how the weaving powers work and everything, and just the whole concept of like all these different creatures that are kind of like they kind of talked about in the presentation to be like cursed to wander. You know what I mean? I got the immediate vibe of like in terms of like the magical abilities for with the weaving. I thought for Spoken. I know that's everyone's favorite game to talk about. And then also I got a little bit of like Kena Bridge of Spirits vibe. That was kind of the vibe I was picking
I'm going to
up.
be honest, neither of them's probably going to have nearly as solid of a soundtrack.
You are correct. You are correct on that. But I mean, I thought everything that they showed with South of Midnight, I thought was very impressive. And it's just further on my radar.
I'm very happy with it. We got a lot more detail compared to the last thing we got, which just showed us a small little bit of small section of gameplay of, I assume, the levels with the gator.
Oh yeah, boss fights and stuff.
Well, the previous trailer, which was just running from the gator from the church. The thing that I do want to note is just how much the art style changed from that previous trailer to this one. Because the previous art design was a lot more cell shaded, which I personally felt fit more, but it looks so pretty on that Unreal Engine 5 now that they've using it on. And I mean, overall, the entire art design just looks fantastic. What they've done with each of the zones, they've said they've more or less created each of the zones specific art style for the initial final boss fight for that zone. And we got a glimpse at 3 bosses. They didn't really say if that's going to be all the bosses, but we did get that.
There was no hard number on the bosses, but that was something they really kind of emphasized, is how each region is going to be very distinct and different from each other, and really focus on who's wandering it. So. Yeah,
and the whole meme soundtrack, just they put a deep emphasis as well on how the soundtrack will change during specific points when you're during your journey as you're changing, helping heal the land, and in terms of the boss fights themselves, the music's apparently going to crescendo in different ways based on the different phases, because they said each boss fight's going to have phases.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to annoy the hell out of people.
Did this whole presentation get you any more interested in the game, where it's going to be more on your radar?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, is just this has been one, like, since it was shown off, it's kind of been, like, you guys have been excited about it, talking about it. It's kind of been in the back of my mind as one where I was like, I want to see a little more. And then even this presentation, I only watched like half of this section of it because I felt like that's all I needed. Because all I was looking for was confirmation of, is this something I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
And as soon as they kind of like emphasized like a little more into the folklore and that, and as soon as they started getting into how like the story and that worked, and kind of how some of the like the magic system and that was kind of gonna function, I was like, I got what I needed.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely on my radar now. It's one that, like, it may not be the immediate pickup, but it's a 2025 play for sure.
Yeah. I like how before the show, when I mentioned the Forspoken thing, you made the comments like, "This is what I thought Forspoken would look like."
Well, it's one where, like, because you mentioned Forspoken, and I was sitting over here, I was like, and it kind of blew my mind for a second because it was exactly the thought that I had.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this looks like this kind of looks like what Forspoken should have been.
Yeah.
In a like visual and kind of vibe way.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Because I am definitely intrigued with the whole combat system they've put together, because they very much said it was going to be combo base oriented, based on whatever you can string together.
Yeah. Which that's gonna be the interesting aspect of it, because they showcased a couple different ways to essentially do the weaving, where
Yeah.
it's like you have like the wand and like two like almost
Well,
like
you have-
sickle looking
You have
things.
the spindle, you
Yeah.
have the needles, and then there was one other thing I forgot that they showed off, but it mostly showed her using the spindle and then the needles.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, overall, this whole presentation was great, especially since they focused so much on the vibe of the game. Because, I'm glad we got a good dosage of gameplay, right? Because we needed to see it. We need to see a better dosage of gameplay, and we did, and it looks great. But just really hammering it on the vibe of the game, everything they're going for, and that in terms of the world and stuff, and just how batshit crazy it's gonna be. They nailed it. And it's like, if this game's not on your radar, it needs to be on your radar, especially since it's a Game Pass game. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
I was about to say, even if it's not one of your big hitters, you should at least put it in your backlog to hit up during the Mellow season, whenever that happens this year.
100%. And then on the flip side, my most anticipated game of the year.
Also, my most anticipated game of the year.
Bingo.
Fuck this game.
Whoa!
This was the reason we don't watch any of this showcase at all.
Right.
Why the fuck are they bringing back a world map?
Nothing wrong with the world map.
Fuck world maps.
I love how they said that. It's just like, we've got a world map. Something
Okay,
hadn't been
I
done
was
in forever.
wondering what your take was going to be. I've been playing with world maps lately, so this doesn't bother me at all.
I mean, their world map will probably not bother me at all.
Yeah.
But
Their world map looks sick.
their world
does.
map does look very good and whatnot. But initially, whenever they said, we brought back world maps, I immediately just turned the shit and went, fuck you. Because I've been traumatized by classic JRPGs and their world maps. I mean, they're not bad, but some of them are like, fuck me.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of times it feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, their world map does look sick though. It does look sick. So I mean, I think it's gonna be great.
I mean,
It's gonna be fine.
it should be fine. It was just my initial
Yeah, just
need,
the initial.
need
Oh, damn it.
of just me and old JRPGs. It's
Right.
Why?
Yeah. We did get the release date though. Also in April.
Yep.
Busy April 24th. So don't have to. This is nice, man. Most anticipated game of the year, and you don't have to wait long for it. I'm here for this. Let's go.
I mean, it's good for me because I can start the month with South of Midnight, finish it up, and then just go straight into
Bingo.
Expedition.
Yeah, bingo. They did reveal a collector's edition that is for GameStop only. I believe it's already sold out, though. I tried to pre-order. I tried to bump up my pre-order from the deluxe edition to the collector's edition. No luck. Also, the collector's edition, as well as the deluxe edition, just for the record, is PS5 only. It is not for the Xbox, in case you wanted to get it there. But the one thing that one random thing I wanted to shout out that I kind of caught in early that I caught on early with the presentation is that they talked about how like the very first thing they did was just hammer out the gameplay.
Yeah.
Which I know that sounds like, you could listen to this show and me say that. It's just like, well, yeah, no shit. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Nope.
Surprisingly, no. No, the fact that they had an idea for gameplay where it's like turn-based, RPGs, JRPGs that we love, but add in the real-time reaction type of gameplay. That was the first thing that they developed and the first thing they hammered on. So I love to hear that because that means that the gameplay is just going to be very refined, at least in my opinion. It already looks great, but the fact that was the first thing they thought of and the first thing they developed and the first thing they worked on, that's to me just a random good sign. I love that.
Well, I will say one thing that I kind of liked, or like it was cool to hear when they were talking about it, is the guy is talking. He's like, "Yeah, I had this idea for a game, and I needed some help with it. So I called my buddy that I went to school with.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then we worked on it for a little while. And then we realized, oh, we need some more help. So we called someone else we knew.
Yeah.
And it was just like a chain of events of people just being like, oh yeah, I know this guy. I know this guy. I know this guy.
Yeah,
and then they
'cause
just kept
It's a
bringing in.
small fringe team. I think
Yep.
at most from what it saw, we only saw like 8 to 10 developers.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty small team, and I also love that either the second or third guy of the ones you're mentioning was just like, yeah, I got, they pitched me an idea, whatever, and I quit my job the next day.
Yeah, it was the third guy.
Yeah, it's like I quit my job the next day and started working on it. It's like respect, dude, respect.
But yeah,
So-
no, we got a ton more information, kind of how the like not only the world works, but like characters and character
Yeah.
interactions.
So did kind of really dive into just like all the different mechanics and how you can. When they were talking about this and they were talking about the way that you can build the characters, like let's see, her name is Mael, I believe. One of the guys said that he liked building her as like a protector, while apparently he's the only person at the studio that does that.
Everyone
And
else builds their glass cannon.
Yeah. The first thing I thought of.
Why?
With Fire Emblem 3 houses and some of the random shit that you do on that game.
Oh, I heard this and I went, oh, I'm going to have some wild choice because, I mean, they said there's 20 base skills for everyone's skill tree.
Yeah.
But then there's 100 passives.
yeah.
More hundreds.
Hundreds.
So
of
I
passives.
heard that and went, my brain's going to hurt.
There's so much potential that you can do with characters.
And depending on how it works, I mean, I looked at that and went, well, I'm going to build something stupid.
Yeah, I know how you operate in these games.
I just wanted to go back and like speak on some of the gameplay that they had. They talked about because it is turn-based with some real-time elements.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they did take care to mention that like it is it's built around all of those features. But if you're like a more old school turn-based player and don't really interact with the kind of the real-time functions, that's all just like additive stuff to the combat. To the point where like he mentioned dodging and like parrying attacks to take no damage, like from big hits and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all extra things that can be done in combat, but apparently everything can be done without doing any of that as well.
Yeah, which was a nice touch, as you mentioned. They more or less said that they wanted that JRPG feel. So it's a classic JRPG at its base, and then they added the whole real time. They said that they went through like several builds before they found the one that they were like, okay, this is viable.
Yeah.
And I mean, just watching from the bit we saw, I mean, it looked like the QTEs or real time parts were quite pretty much through the entire battle for doing attacks, for dodging, pulling off counters. The parry, of course, like John mentioned, and he even said like it's there for those who want to challenge and really want to push themselves, and for everyone else, I mean, it's fairly forgiving and you don't have to do it.
Yeah, which is great in the accessibility department.
Yeah.
'Cause that's such a big thing in gaming these days, is making it more accessible for everyone to play. Because there's going to be plenty of players who just wants to sit down and play a classic JRPG experience and just turn their brain off, have a good time kind of thing, right? And which respect, do your thing, play your game how you want. Everything with the gameplay they showed was incredible. I'm glad we got to see all of the different skill trees where it's like each character had like 20 plus different things and all the, the passive stuff. So, in terms of each character having their own unique feel and stuff. Another thing that I personally really, really loved was when they were talking about the narrative and how it's not just a simple good versus evil situation.
I love when they brought this up.
I love that. I love that because it's not just like, oh, the paintress is bad. Oh, that person's bad. Kill them. No, it's deeper than that. Where it's like, you know, the conflicts can arise due to just like different perspectives on how to kind of get stuff done. And it kind of details our, you know, like the main characters that we're going to see here. You know, I'm assuming at just the beginning, I'm assuming, you know, we'll meet more NPCs and more characters, but it's like our main group where we have like Gustav and Luna. I think they pronounced it Luna in the showcase. You know, they're invested in like the expedition, and like everything about their personality and everything about their purpose is about completing the mission essentially. And then you have Cecile, who's like her darkest days has already happened, so she's kind of tied to the past to an extent. And then you have Mael, who just like wants to like live her life to the best and not necessarily focus on living longer. Is that how they describe it?
Yeah. It's less about like we have to stop the great evil and we have a job to do, and it's like differing opinions are going to come up on how that needs to be done. As you go through
which
it.
is a nice touch because more or less this is equivalently there's this crisis affecting the people at large, and we're the ones who decided to step up regardless of our reasons at this time.
Right.
And just how they interact. I'm going to be more curious of what, because they say you're going to meet NPCs and recruit them, how those are going to change. Because like the one they showed us was the weird philosopher guy who,
The monkey.
yeah,
Yeah.
that they said his whole kit is you kill things, he eats, he takes pizzas of them, and he turns into them.
Yep.
That's his kit.
Yeah. There you go. Have fun.
Yeah, looks wild and crazy.
So I wonder how extensive that is in terms of and what other kinds of NPCs we will be granted across our journey, plus our flying hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
the idea.
bring that up because, like you mentioned the world map earlier. Well, part of traversing the world map is you have your companion that you ride around with and on at times who transports you, who is apparently one of the, if not the most powerful being on the planet,
Yep.
who just decides, oh, yeah, I'll fly you around.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, his interaction with him was like, me strong, but not that strong. It's like, all right.
You know, and also in terms of like interacting and stuff, not just the NPC element of things, but one thing I caught in the gameplay they were showing was one of the rest points was Expedition 78. I noticed it at the top of the screen. So I'm wondering, does that mean you're going to get the chance to see multiple former expeditions, like I guess like almost like graveyards or like where they died, or like
I would
maybe their
assume
former
so
camps
because
or something?
it also did answer the question of when did it start? It started at 99, or no, it started at 100.
Yeah, it started at 100.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah.
Sorry. So however number it got to that they finally started sending expeditions. I mean, I always assumed from them getting that we were going to see at least some bits and pieces or find lore of what happened in several other expeditions.
Yeah.
Seeing as even our NPC we know about, they even mentioned he's seen many of expeditions come through. He's just for some reason decided to follow yours this time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe he's followed with them in the past, and it's just they've always failed. Or I would assume that like, kind of like whenever they started sending them out, like kind of like what you're saying, you kind of find the point that they failed at.
Right.
And it would be interesting if like the further you get, or the closer you get to the end of your expedition, you start seeing some of those lower numbers, like close to where you are, or it's like you hit a point where you're like, you find expedition 34.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, if they made it this far, how far do we have to go?
Right. See, that's going to be the interesting thing about the rest points. You're right. That's what I'm hoping to see out of it. And like, who was the first expedition, and you know, are the rest points just how far they got? You know, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they didn't talk about that. It was just something I caught on screen. So it's just like, that's interesting. I wonder what that's going to entail. You know. But also, hey, shout out! This game's only been in development for 4 years. So shout out to that too. Kudos to the team. They've done incredible work in a 4-year period.
Also, one of the games that once it was shown off has had some of the most interest, most hype shown behind it. One of the best looking games coming out this year. $49.99.
I know.
Yep.
I know. Dude, it's incredible. I
And
love
on
it.
Game Pass.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on Game Pass. And man, just there was a section of it as well where they just talked about the world that they're wanting to build for it, and just God bless some of the shots they showed of the different environments they've created for this game. I know they were like arts, you know, but Jesus, this world is so beautifully stunning.
That was one of the like my favorite parts about it was like they had like a 2-minute section where they were talking with the artist.
Yeah.
And like he was talking about how he came up with character designs and how each different like each area for different people is designed in like different color patterns, different like different completely different styles just based on which NPCs or what kind of people would be living there.
Yeah.
Because they talked about one of the I forget the name of the group of people, but like it's like essentially an NPC town. He's like, yeah, it's kind of chaotic. It's kind of like a bazaar.
Oh,
you
yeah,
could.
yeah.
It's like you show up there, people may just start fighting you.
Yep. Yeah. That section looked pretty sick. So I mean, dude, just the level of care that's gone into the world. I mean, it's impressive, and John, you're right, because it's like, we get this trailer last, Xbox showcase, and it's like immediate interest just because of how beautiful the game looks. It's like it looks beautiful. It takes a new twist on the RPG elements with the real time reactive and everything. And I really think this game's going to be an absolute banger for this year. I think this game is going to really stand out for 2025.
I mean, if it's a hit, this is the studio's first game, so best to them.
I know. And hopefully, if it is just a massive success, hopefully, it can open up the door for, just other possible games within the IP if they want to try to expand the IP in any capacity, depending on how this game is resolved, of course, with the narrative. So, no, very, very excited for Clear Obscure Expedition 33. It looks incredible. And then it ended with Doom the Dark Ages, which I still think just looks like just a dumb fun time. Like, I think the game play just looks fun. It's one of those games I can just go in and just be a badass and just have a good time. That's what it looks like to me.
And that's the idea.
Yep.
I didn't stick around for Doom because I'm not going to end up playing Doom. Never been a Doom guy.
Never been a Doom guy
but
either.
My favorite thing was how they described the different games. They were like, it's like Doom, run and gun. It's like Doom Eternal, jump and shoot. Doom,
the Dark
Ages, stand and fight.
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? It's fucking cool.
Yep. Yeah, just kind of giving the entire vibe and the emphasis on what each game's going to represent. Which they really hammered it home with a lot of different with the combat mechanics with the shield saw. Shout out to that. Love adding a saw to weapons. Shout out to Gears. You have the iron flail, you have the mace, you have the electric gauntlet, and then of course you just have a huge amount of guns. Then they also talked about in the showcase how they got a 30-story fucking mech for you to ride in, as well as a dragon to ride. And I'm just like, this game just looks like batshit crazy.
Why does it have a mech and a dragon?
Because it's Doom.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
And then again, to be fair, for some reason, Doom was in space. It was in space at one point, and now we're suddenly in a medieval hellscape.
We're on like the dark, the far edges of the universe, is what they said.
Is that what it is?
So it's still like the whole space vibe. We're just at a certain place in the far edge of the universe. Is the vibe I get from the way they talk about
and
it.
so you have to have a mech and a dragon. That way you don't always want to go in on your mech.
Yeah, and
it's like occasionally you got to mix it up.
Yeah, and the dragon's also a robot dragon.
I was about to say, is it a mechanized dragon?
Yeah, it's a mechanized dragon that you ride, yeah. And then you have the mech that you pilot. You pilot a giant Gundam and you kick things, and it looks cool. I'll tell you, this game is just a game you just turn your brain off and have fun. Because like they even like built the world itself as low key, kind of like open world-ish. I mean, the way they described it is like it's a Doom sandbox. I mean, you just go in there and they said you control the pace. Who you want to fight, how you want to fight them, what objective you want to go do, what collectibles you want to go find. Just go, have fun, go have a blast. There's shit in all different areas for you to check out and explore and find stuff for, and unlock different areas and stuff. So I think it looks sick. And another thing also is that this is one of those games that, it's not in the same realm as like Ninja Gaiden, where it's obviously been for, we had Doom Eternal just a few years ago, but they're making a very new player, accessible, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they've talked about it ad nauseum, or say, if you've never played Doom, this is a great one to start with. And with that, they've also added a whole new section, again, with accessibility options where, if this is a game that looks cool to you, but maybe you're thinking, oh, it could be a little too hard for me. I'm not a good gamer. I'm a bad gamer. I can relate. They have a bunch of different difficulty sliders that they've never had in a Doom game that you can completely adjust or slow things down. Maybe you want to speed things up. Maybe you want to make it even harder for you. So I thought that was really cool too, having all the different accessibility options for the difficulty sliders. But I mean, everything about it just looks great. The way they described, Doom Eternal is that it's like you were like a fighter jet, and in this one you're like an iron tank. You just go in there and, like what John said, you stand and fight. So it comes out May 15th. I'm excited for it. Yeah, I'm glad. I am glad it's a Game Pass game because it just gives me the chance to kind of jump in and try it. But I will be playing it day one.
And if for some reason you don't have any of the Dooms, want to play them before this one, they did recently just release a Doom anthology with every currently playable Doom.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, top to bottom, Doom looked incredible. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game to check out in May. But overall, though, top to bottom, the entire showcase I thought was incredible. Everything hit for me. Everything hit and checked boxes for me. All four presentations, all 4 games. 5 you count, Black, whatever. All of it looked great. I was so pumped about this.
Well, I was gonna say, it turns out if you're gonna do a showcase, and you're like, oh, what do we need to tell people? Oh, well, let's put like the 3 biggest games that we're gonna have this year. Let's put it all in there, give them all the information, release dates, everything, and then hit them with like a big comeback franchise that's going to have a shadow drop as well.
Right.
It turns out if you give people what they want to know, you have a good showcase.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
good success.
This developer direct is so much better than the last one I remember watching, which was pretty bad.
I don't even remember what the last one was focused on.
It was a bunch of stuff it was back in summer, I believe. That's the last one I remember.
Yeah.
I don't
remember what
it had the Mana's game in it.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
And had 3 other games I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember it, honestly. Yeah, it didn't slap like this one. I cannot remember it. Now, this direct, though, yeah, this one's going to be remembered. This one was good. Very, very good. No, I mean, good presentation. All 4 games look great. Can't wait. We have a very busy first few months, boys. I mean, February and March are already stacked as it is, and now April's got 2 bangers, and you got got May leading off with Doom: The Dark Ages. You've got a good lineup of games from now to May, so it's good. It's a good time to be a gamer for sure. Any other thoughts on the developer direct you want to throw out there? Anything we need to loop back to with one of the previous games?
No, I got nothing.
I got nothing either. Just Expedition 33 looks great. That's the bottom line. Looks incredible. Can't wait.
No, I really just think this needs to be something that, like, not just like Xbox. Everyone needs to do this a little more often when you're gonna have a big hitting like first quarter or like end of year or something. Just if you got a good lineup going into it, give us a 45-minute showcase telling us everything. We still don't get that a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll just try to mix it into like their summer showcase or something where they're showing off 50 different games or that. Now, sometimes it's nice to just be like, here's the 4 games we know you want to know about.
Right.
And here's everything you want to know about them.
Yeah.
Everybody should be doing this.
I actually do agree. In terms of Nintendo and Sony, I think Sony, at least like one time I can remember, although I can't remember the game, it might have been Ragnarok. Like at least one time they had a state of play specifically for a game. I think they've only done that once. Yeah. Once on a blue moon, Nintendo will have a few directs dedicated to a game. But it'd just be nice to get stuff like developer directs, like 4 banger games. Let's talk about it.
Because like Nintendo previously has been the only ones that really do.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, well, here's our big Pokemon game of the year, or here's our big Legend of Zelda
Or
game.
they've done it for Xenoblade too. They did it for Xenoblade 3.
It's like they do it for their one big game.
Yeah.
Like, now, if you're gonna have like 4 games come out within a month or 2, just it'd be nice to get these a little more often.
Right. I agree. Especially when you do have different games like this that you are backing and publishing or whatever, or they're your game, whatever. Like in the case of Doom being, from Bethesda and ID Soft. So yeah, no, I wish, I think it was like just January of last year. I think Developer Directs started with Xbox. Maybe it was like at most 2 years ago. So I don't know. Would just like to see this more for sure. It'd be nice.
I was about to say, just Xbox finally came out a year when, hey, we got stuff.
Yeah. This is Xbox's year, hopefully, because that's honestly the vibe that I'm kind of getting just from like the stuff that they're publishing is that, and the other stuff that we know is to come, like Fable's still slated to come this year. This is hopefully Xbox's year, at least in my opinion. So we'll see. All right, let's shout out one of our sponsors. Shout Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Spark3 to get 10% off your order. But hey, if they got a better sale going on, no big deal on the promo code. Just use the referral link and you're still going to be helping out the brand. Or if you want to get some hydration, some chill, or energy, they're all great and we recommend them all. I don't think they have any special sales going on at the moment. I'm not sure.
They did have a 30% off tubs specifically through the app. If you have the app, as of Thursday is when that went live. I may or may not still be going as of Saturday.
Okay, well there you go. You can check out the app and see if that's going on. If not, again, just use the referral link from code Sparky3. You can get 10% off. We'd appreciate that. So, staying in the vein of the Xbox conversation, we had the classic Phil Spencer interview that he does every once in a while with a updated Phil Spencer shelf. Everyone loves to dissect that shelf and see if there's any fun tidbits on there. Someone did point out that the Xbox Keystone is still on his shelf, even though there's no actual reveal for it. And I don't think it's going to get revealed at this point, and he just has it to have it. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, we were going to do this. We're not going to do it, but I'm just going to keep it on my shelf and fuck with people. But no, did have a Phil Spencer interview where, honestly, I feel like one of the big things about the interview, in my opinion, that take away from it is that Xbox just really doubles down on the multi-plat future to come, right? Yeah. And we saw this with this developer direct where it's like, at least a couple of these aren't necessarily Xbox owned studios, right? But it's, they're all Xbox published. One of them is from Bethesda and ID Soft, which is owned by Xbox, and it's still going to go on PlayStation. It's going to be multi-plat. But just really hammering on the multi-plat mindset for the future, which like more games everywhere. We want people just to play our games. Because it was asked about Starfield, and he flat out said, no, there's no fence preventing Starfield to go to PlayStation. But he said, yeah, it's going to go to PlayStation at some point. And it talked about Nintendo. It's like, we really want to work with Nintendo. More than we do right now. He talked about that he had some emails with the current CEO over in Japan and just super excited for the Switch 2 and this and that. And, we already know support they've done and more support to come. But
we want to destroy your new system. Let us throw something on it.
Yeah, basically, right? Like, let's just really destroy this thing. But again, just really hammering that the Xbox future is play anywhere. That's the mindset. And he still says, though, that a key focus to the strategy of Xbox is the hardware, but says that the big driving point for the hardware is the capabilities of the hardware, is what's going to push you to want to buy the console. And I was just curious you guys' thoughts on this, because in my opinion, the multi-plat thing is cool. More people being able to play games is great. But I just feel like Xbox is setting themselves up for a very extreme uphill battle for the next generation. That's how I feel.
I mean, capabilities of the hardware. There's very few things that come to my mind when you say capabilities of the hardware. Because currently, like, it almost, like, aside from the Series S, the Series X, and, like, even PlayStation 5, it feels like the only reason we would move to a new generation at this point is to just move to a new generation, because there's nothing out right now that's pushing these consoles to their limit.
Oh, no, by far
We're not even close to that. So we'll be moving to a new generation, but really for the first time before a limit has been found, which, I mean, is a bit disappointing, because then it's like, okay, well, why are we upgrading our hardware then?
Right.
But if you're talking about capabilities of a console, I mean, like, what does an Xbox not do right now? I can't take it with me. So what is he talking about when he's talking capabilities? Because, like, for me, I mean, you've been on about a handheld, like, console and that. It's the only thing that comes to my mind when you say like what our hardware will be able to do that like others can't is just okay. So you're it sounds like you're gonna come out with like a handheld with the capabilities of a Series X right now is what comes to my mind. I'm like, okay, well if you do that, yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
Right.
But other than that, you're just saying words to say words.
And see, that's the thing that I really agree with you on is like this generation has been so weird.
Yeah.
So weird, top to bottom, dude. Because it's like, you know, we're going to get the next generation Xbox potentially next year. You know, we're going to get the PS6 here in a couple of years or whatever. And it's just like, we really are just upgrading for no reason.
We've pushed exactly one console to its limits.
Yep.
And that's the Series S.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Fact.
It's like the Xbox Series X and the PS5. We're nowhere near pushing the limits on them yet.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's complaining saying, oh, we're having to figure out how to make a game for the PS5. It's like the technology's not there. No, you're just going to upgrade it so that you'll hopefully get 100 million people to buy your next console too. There's not any real reason for it other than, well, we usually do it every 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, do we need to do that right now?
I mean, it's literally just, as y'all are saying, it's not necessarily an overhaul of the hardware itself, just maybe changing pieces here and there that work more optimally.
Right.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because it's, and again, you know, going with the whole multi-plat mentality, it's just like, I mean, if your hardware, whatever you're talking about for hardware capabilities, buddy, that better be some sick ass hardware. Because I'm telling you, I feel like they're setting themselves up for a very tough next generation. I feel like it's going to be another generation where whatever Nintendo's got, it's always going to sell, except for the Wii U, I guess.
It's just an Xbox case covering the latest graphics card for PC.
Yeah, basically, honestly, that's basically what it's going to be.
I mean,
That
I
big ass
completely
brick.
understand
True.
why Xbox wants to move on.
Yeah,
Because
that
they
makes
just
sense.
want to move away and get away from the Series S.
Yeah,
That's fair.
If they could get rid of it right now, they would be more than happy to.
true.
So they have the reason to want to do that. The problem is now you're going to move to a new console early and try to convince people to buy it. But then now everybody's gotten used to being like, oh, well, why'd you sell us a cheaper version before? Now you want us to buy the expensive version again for the new one. Because I mean, I'm not gonna be happy about that. I like my Series S. I know it caused them way too many headaches and way too much money, but I like that I had the option for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look forward to upgrading to a new Xbox, which is one of the few times throughout, like, since I've been getting consoles, one of the few times I could say, yeah, I'm not looking forward to upgrading my Xbox,
Right.
just because I know it's going to be expensive.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, and if they are able to do the handheld thing and do it well, like you said, then you know, cool, right? Like, you know, what is it going to be though? Like, is it going to be like you have a base console with something similar to a Portal, but actually it works completely independently? Because you know, Xbox is, I think we can probably all agree, probably the best of the three major gaming companies to utilize cloud stuff. So utilize that in some capacity to be able to have access to all your games and kind of just move on the go kind of thing. I don't know. It's like if your hardware capabilities is what's going to push, you know, for someone to buy your console instead of first party exclusives, then that better be some damn good console, buddy. Because, you know, I am still in the firm believer of, you know, exclusive sell. I'm going to buy a new Nintendo console to play Zelda and Pokemon, right? You know, when it comes to PlayStation, I enjoy Horizon. I enjoy God of War now. I enjoy the Spider-Man games. That alone, so I was like, oh yeah, if those are happening, I'm getting a PlayStation.
Yeah. Since I like transitioned over to like during the PS4 generation, since I transitioned over and have primarily played everything on PlayStation, it is a foregone conclusion that when PlayStation 6 comes out, I will be buying a PlayStation 6. I like having my Xbox for Game Pass and the occasional, like, when they do actually come out with their own like exclusive game. But if games aren't going to be exclusive anymore, your selling point to me is Game Pass, to where I don't have to buy all the games throughout the year, and I can pay for Game Pass
Pretty much.
to play some of them.
Right.
Other
And
than
play it anywhere.
it's like, is that gonna convince me to like buy the console? It depends, because the thing is, right now, the Game Pass library on the console is still larger than the one on the PC client. So if more stuff, if it is truly gonna be play anywhere, and all the games that are on Game Pass will be on the PC client, I don't have as much need for an Xbox.
Yeah, true. Which someone in chat said, what if it's a next gen Xbox console, but it's like a hybrid between the console and like a PC? Hey, that's what Zach just said. With just put the new graphics card.
I was about to say,
in a box.
take the biggest graphics card, the latest graphics card, and just throw a
Slap it
case
in a
around.
box.
it.
Yeah, that's essentially what the next console is. And then just add some sort of handheld, portable mechanic to it, and there you go. You have a console that's going to be ungodly expensive.
A micro deck.
Dude, that thing is gonna there's no way you're gonna be able to make a consumer friendly price. There's no chance. But honestly, also, by the time we get to the next generation with Xbox and PlayStation 6, the entry price point is probably gonna be $600 regardless.
Probably.
Like I'm just keeping it real.
I mean, the PS5 Pro is what, 700?
Is it 7 or 6?
Is it 6 or
I
7?
think it's 6.
I think it might be 6.
It might be 6. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 6.
So I mean, if that's where they're doing with the Pro, yeah. I mean, next generation is going to be
Entry point at 6.
at base 6.
Yeah.
They may peak it to 7.
Yeah, which honestly, if they go really over the top with the Xbox, that may peak at 8. Like, you got to think about that for a second. You're spending $800 potentially on just a gaming console, which I don't want to shit on it.
On
but
a
it's just-
gaming library.
yeah, basically, that's essentially what you're doing, is a gaming library. Let that sink in for a minute.
Versus Gabe Newell's Steam.
Exactly. Go to Steam. So I don't know, that it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, if your focus for your hardware is just the capabilities, man, I hope it's cool. I hope it's cool, because I am a firm believer in having first party exclusives. Now, if they stick with the mindset of, we're gonna send stuff multi-plat, but like not everything's gonna be day one, like they kind of do with Indiana Jones and stuff. I mean, that's fine. I'm cool with that, because I am an impatient person. That would be enough for me to drive to get a new Xbox. It's like, okay, yeah, I want to play this game immediately. I don't want to wait 8 months for it. That's just me though.
I don't think that there's a large amount of, especially like PC people.
Yeah,
It's like,
I know
Sony,
I'm the minority.
Sony is very slow to put their games on PC, but people that are PC players are more than willing to wait like 2.5 years on a game to finally come to PC to
I know.
play it.
I'm the minority in that feeling.
And it's like, it's one of those where a lot of times I'm willing to wait on something to come to my preferred platform.
Yeah.
It's like, if I have the choice of like buying the new Xbox or waiting 6 months to play it somewhere else, I may wait 6 months to play it somewhere else.
Totally fair. See, I'm very impatient. If it's a game I really, really want, I have to stress, I really want to play it. I'll find my way to play it. That's just me though. But I do realize that I am very much in the minority on that front. So I don't know. I feel like Xbox is shooting themselves in the foot for the next generation right out of the gate. But we'll see how it goes. They're just basically becoming I feel like at this point, Xbox is just, they're going to really end up just becoming the same route as like, Sega, or let's just say Sega, because they don't have consoles anymore. I feel like they're just going to go that route eventually. Well, if this next Xbox console, whatever it's going to be, if it fizzles out, I think Xbox hardware is done. I'll say it as, I think it's done, and I think they're just going to just make games.
I don't know. It may not be done, but they probably may take a step back on full-on console and make something weird.
Yeah, it'll be less about like a dedicated like new console every few years, and it would be more of, I feel like it would become more of like an iterative thing that would just be like a box you would hook up to your TV.
Yeah.
To where it's like anybody can have it. It'll be a couple $100. It's not going to be the best thing ever, but it'll get the job done.
Right. So I don't know. The Xbox future is going to be interesting. We'll see how things play out, I guess. Let's shout out one of our other sponsors. Shout out Agent Inc. Use the referral link down below. You can pick up one of our hats or one of the jerseys. We'd appreciate that. And you can also go over to sparky3shop.com and you can pick up some merch over there as well. Again, use the referral link down below, and we'd appreciate that extra support. What was the last thing that I had? Oh, yeah. Games potentially breaking the $70 price tag.
Changes nothing for me.
Yeah, I know it doesn't change anything for you, buddy. No, I saw this come out where it's like, there were some people talking about the potential of like GTA 6 breaking past that price point, whether it be $80, $90, or even $100.
Yeah.
And I think at some point I predicted that I thought that it was going to probably reach that $100 price point for like the next generation, And honestly, I just think it just comes down to like, it comes down to those inflating budgets. You know what I mean? We see these budgets for games, and it's just like, what can we not reduce the budget? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell are we doing?
I mean, there
like,
probably is a way, and we're talking like standard game price here, not like deluxe or anything like this.
Yeah, just base price, entry price.
I mean, there probably is ways, but I mean, if they want to maximize in terms of software, top developers, all that fun stuff, full fleshed out teams as what they think is necessary, probably not.
Well,
Right.
It's like we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago with like the mismanagement of a lot of these companies causing a lot of the inflated pricing or like inflated budgets for games.
Yeah.
Where they take it in 4 different directions
Sure.
before they decide on one, which makes it cost 3 times as much. And it's one of those where I don't think prices of like the standard pricing of games is going to increase for a while. As far as like a GTA, like GTA 6, I mean, they can price it at whatever they want to. They could make the standard version of that game $100. Nobody's going to question it.
No.
It's like you know who would be the ones to look at like a GTA 6 being $100 and be like, oh, that's the new standard price. That'd be like EA or Ubisoft. Because the thing is, like, you look at it, it's like, will the standard price of games go up? Well, look at the direct we just had. We have South of Midnight coming in at a lower price point.
Yeah.
We have Clear Obscure Expedition 33 coming in at $49.99 because the team said we want this to be available to whoever wants to play it.
Right.
We want more accessibility for the game. And I feel like, some people are going to, it's like definitely like some companies are going to try to bump their game prices up over the, like, especially if GTA comes out at a higher price point.
Yeah, all the
People are
all
gonna-
the AAA companies are going to start looking at that.
They're going to try to bump it up, but some of these, I mean,
AA and
I was going to say, as we've seen over the past like 2 years, some of the biggest games that come out during the year are these like $39.99, $49.99 games.
Yeah.
It's like they're the ones that are blowing up and connecting with people.
and accessible.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like they're the cheaper games. They're the ones that are typically made by a team for the players.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just the cash grabs.
Right.
I mean, we honestly just turning back to what I can never think of his name. Baldur's Gate 3's lead.
Oh,
Swin.
Yeah, Swin. His whole speech he had at the Game Awards.
Oh yeah, where he roasted the entire industry.
Yeah.
Shout out, man.
it was basically man on top of the game calling out every AAA developer.
Yep. 100%. And rightfully so.
Yeah, I think there's going to be the outliers out there, like GTA 6. I would not be surprised at a standard edition of GTA 6 being $100.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Nope.
it broke past 70. Like whether if it was just 80 or 90
Yeah.
or 100, it wouldn't shock me if that game was that price.
But I see that as the outlier.
Yeah,
That's like one of the most popular best-selling games of all time coming out with a sequel that is the most anticipated game to ever come out.
Yep.
So it's like that's the exception. They can do what they want to there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as far as standard games and standard pricing, I don't see that changing. It will eventually change,
Yeah,
but I
sooner or
don't
later.
see it for a few years.
And I want to agree that it is going to be an outlier. You know what I mean? It's going to be an outlier because of what the game is, where it's like, you know, that is a game that does have, assumingly, a massive budget. And I guess in that one, rightfully so, because it is probably the most anticipated video game to ever come out right now.
Yeah.
Because GTA 5 is still, I think right now, is the second highest selling game in history, only behind Minecraft, I think. So I mean, it does make sense that if that one is priced a little bit higher, that it could be an outlier. Kind of similar. Now this one is more so, in my opinion, them dipping their toes into it. It's like, can we do this? Can we do this maybe for next generation? Kind of similar to how Tears of the Kingdom is the only $70 Nintendo game, which, you know, with the scale that they did for Tears of the Kingdom, kind of makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also think it was Nintendo dipping their toes. If like, okay, hey, can we do this for the Switch 2 potentially, only for certain games? But
I mean, also Nintendo is probably the company that could get away with it.
yeah,
They
true.
most definitely could.
Yep,
Because
100%.
Nintendo people are they've been buying the same games for 25 years.
I was about to say
They're
Nintendo-
more than
Correct,
happy to buy it
correct.
again.
Nintendo sells nostalgia at $60 a pop.
Exactly. So they can 100% get rid of it, get away with it. But for an industry-wide price increase, I do think it's gonna happen, obviously. But it's just a matter of when. And I just hope that it does not. I hope that GTA is not the domino that starts it. Because also my thing about it is, like, you start having these games, these big AAA, you know, approach games, right, that are coming out at, let's say, an $80 price tag. You're setting yourself up for even more of a flop, like, you know, for a lot of games. Because, like, you got to look at all these AAA headlining games, right, where they're labeled as AAA action adventure, AAA RPG, whatever, and then they just completely fizzle out. I mean, all three of us could name multiple that just come out and just never go anywhere, but they were a AAA game based on the budget and the
And then our
size and
one
whatever.
quadruple A game.
Our one quadruple A by Ubisoft was Skull and
I was
Bones.
gonna say I'm pretty sure it's in the weekly wrap up, but a perfect example of big AAA game, Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Exactly.
Comes in, it's like it's got its AAA budget, AAA price tag, AAA everything. Comes in, meets 50% of expectation.
Yep. And just think, and that it hitting the 50% is because it has two notable names carrying behind it of Dragon Age and BioWare, right? You have new AAA games come out, and they got to be a damn good game, or they're just going to potentially flop. Because there's so many that happens to. Games that honestly look fun, and games that I've played that I don't think are bad. Good example, Immortals of Avium. That's a AAA game. It flopped horrendously.
Yes, it did really bad.
But it's not a bad game. It's just not a game that had the reach that it needed for its AAA approach. You know what I mean?
It's also the fact of, like, even taking it back, like, we kind of had this conversation like a year ago. It's why we have our board with our type of
Facts.
what we consider grading on, is because for the last few years, there's very much been, like, people that buy games don't want to waste their time buying a game that's reviewed at a 7 or an 8. They only want to buy games that are 9 or 10s.
Yep.
And very rarely are we seeing these big AAA games come in with those scores.
True.
It's like people with games being as expensive as they are, people are more selective about which ones they want to buy. So if you make games more expensive, that means, well, it's like, you may come in with bigger flops, because if you increase the price tag even by $10 more, that could be one less game somebody's going to buy throughout the year.
Sure.
And if it's like, enough people are like, okay, well, if I'm buying one less game this year, I'm going to skip out on this one. If, like, 1 in 100 people do that, that could easily be 500,000 copies that would have been bought. So it's like, I mean, increasing price of games is not necessarily, it's like, it's not going to fix the problem of why are these games so expensive. They got to fix the management issue, or like the
100%.
mismanagement and everything. It's like, why don't you work on, like, narrowing your scope and getting, like, as we've mentioned many times, there's plenty of developers that like they have no issues. They make their games. They come out. People absolutely love them. They put out 10 out of 10s every time they release something. And then we have these other companies that's like all we hear is delayed, redoing, like starting from scratch. It's like there are other issues there. Making it an $80, $90 game is not going to fix your problem.
Facts. I think when you see the budgets that, like, let's say got leaked out for, the big Insomniac leak, where Spider-Man 2, fantastic game, by the way, but it had a budget of like, what, 300 million, 250 million,
ridiculous,
something like crazy. It's just like, I can't even remember if I think it did hit profit. But obviously with that sort of budget, it didn't blow things out of the water. It's like, I mean, with your budgets reaching those kind of heights, it's like you're gonna have more flops, especially if, like what John was saying. It's like you increase that price, like someone may skip out. I know I'm gonna be, unless it's a game that's like to the hype of, let's give some recent hypes for me. Let's say Expedition 33. Let's say a Black Myth Wukong, something like that, where it's like, this is one of my games of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to pass on it. If it's just a game that I'm just like excited for, but lukewarm. Let's say Doom was not, let's say Game Pass didn't exist and Doom was just coming out, you had to buy it kind of thing. If it came out that sort of price, yeah, absolutely, I'm passing on it until a sale. Absolutely. Because it's like, it's not one of my top 5 most anticipated. It's like, yeah, that was like a really fun game. I want to play that. But I'm not going to go out and buy it right out of the gate because I'm not like breaking my back of excitement for it. So, no, sooner or later, the price tag will increase. And that's just the fact of gaming. It's increased, obviously, multiple times throughout the decades here as Zach's over there dying.
Damn, what happened?
Yeah, you're out there, buddy. Get some water, bud.
Well, I was gonna say to your point of like with Doom with you, and if Game Pass didn't exist, hell, ever since games went to $70, there's games that I want to play that I pass on because there may be another game coming out that month that I want to play.
Yeah.
Or there may be 2 games coming out that month that I want to play. And it's like, okay, well, normally I would buy this game, but I'm not about to spend like over $200 on 3 games in a month.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, it is also one of those things where I'm also a PC player and I primarily play everything on Steam. Everybody on Steam, like, yeah, we'll buy some new games every now and then. Most of our library comes from their sales. So it's like, I'm pretty used to waiting on a $60 game to drop down to $30 at some point.
Yep.
It's like there's games on my Steam wish list that are like $30 games that go on sale for like $22 every now and then. I won't buy them because I'm waiting on it to hit 20 or less.
Yep.
And it's like, that's how I treat a lot of my games these days.
Unless it's like that one, you know what I mean? Like your most anticipated, that's how you treat a lot. Yeah,
it's
I get
like,
it.
There's a lot of games I'm excited for this year. It's like, luckily, like all the games in April are coming out on Game Pass.
Yeah,
That is very nice.
Which I'm glad we circled back to Game Pass because we had a comment about the Game Pass thing when we were finishing up the Xbox talk, and I put in the chat I'd follow back up to it because I didn't want to like lose track of where we were with the price tag. And when I think it involves like me saying that I think Xbox is like a hardware developer is like done if the next generation flops, and they said and losing 30 million plus Game Pass subscribers. Big disagree to that because I don't think it's a secret that Xbox would be interested to put Game Pass on other consoles.
I was about to say they've been very adamant about trying to get Game Pass on everything.
Yeah, I mean there was talks that Game Pass was going to go even to Sony at one point and the Switch. So if it ever crossed that point where Xbox hardware is actually done, which I'm going to say at this point in time is a 30% chance that could happen someday. 30% could increase, right? I think we can agree that's probably a fair number at this point. If that does happen, Game Pass is not going anywhere. It's not.
Most definitely not.
What it's going to be, man, is Game Pass will probably at that point, get on more consoles to be available. And it's still a mindset of you can sign up for Game Pass and have access to all of these these Xbox published games, right? Like the Bethesda games, your ID Soft, which is Bethesda, you know what I mean? You want to play Fable, you want to play Gears, Halo, whatever, then you can play it all through Game Pass for this price, or you can just buy them full price in the store. Your choice. If you don't want to pay a month's subscription, just go buy the games you do want to play. I think that's how it's going to be. Because I mean, it's not too far off from other publisher subscriptions.
I was about to say, in my mind, Game Pass would just essentially just become almost like a second Steam in my mind.
Yeah, a second Steam, or it'd be similar to like EA Play,
Yeah.
or like whatever Ubisoft's crappy thing is they've got, whatever.
Uplay.
Yeah, Uplay. I mean, I feel like it'd be similar to that, where Game Pass would go. Game Pass is not going anywhere.
Xbox and Phil Spencer, whoever the head of Xbox is,
Yeah.
they'll find a way to get it on stuff.
Yeah, no, Game Pass is here to stay. But now the hardware, that I know it's just like, well, how's Game Pass going to here to say if you don't have the hardware? Again, like what's that? They will put Game Pass on something.
What you
It
got,
will be
John?
out there.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, even if they try to eventually get out of the console marketplace, like I said previously, they may just be like, yeah, we're done making like individual consoles. We're not gonna be making like every 8 years or something, you buy a new one. It could just be they come out with like a little box or something you hook up to your TV, and it's not called an Xbox or anything. It's just like they give it some Game Pass type name for it, to where like you go to like the TV section of
The
a store,
xCloud.
Yeah.
and it's like you have all your TVs there, and then in the same area it's there as well. Like you buy a TV and you buy your Game Pass box, and it's like comes with a controller or something, and it just goes with it. And it's like they may as well try to put it on other consoles and stuff like that. But even if they move out of like the console market, I would almost guarantee they still make a device where it's like, yeah, just buy this and you're good for no matter what.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. They just may not dive into like the super high power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they may not put all the new games and everything on there, but everything that's in the library or anything they get to come on there, it's like, yeah, just buy this and you can play whatever in the library.
Right. Yeah, and that is a possibility. Now, again, us talking about this, I think it's a low possibility. I do, and I hope it doesn't happen. Let me stress that I love my Series X. I play my Series X probably more than my PlayStation right now. Competition is good. Competition is good. Competition brings out the best in all of us. I don't want to see Xbox go away. I love the Xbox, and I love Xbox as a brand. They have a lot of great properties, obviously, especially with all the purchases they've done. So I don't know. That's just kind of a we'll see thing. If the next generation, if it horrendously flops in sales, that's where I feel like we could probably start having little conversations. And hopefully that doesn't happen. We shall see, though. No. Anything else you guys want to chat about, dive into? If not, I can start going through the weekly wrap-up. Anything you guys have been up to? Well, I've been playing a little bit of TFT. Having fun with that, I guess. Trying to have fun with that. Trying to find a build.
Zenless 1.5.
Nice.
Yeah, mostly been playing Astrobot. Been on my Steam Deck a bit recently.
Nice.
It's like a lot of games in my like Steam library that I don't find time to play, like sit down and play at my PC a whole lot.
Yeah.
I started downloading on there, and I'll just turn like a movie or YouTube videos on or something, sit back in my recliner and play.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great. Was playing it a bit before I came over here.
Nice. Still been just playing Marvel Rivals. I have been a lot of fun with that. It's kind of been like, that's been my Zenless in your case.
Yeah.
Like I just go in, I just play Rivals for a couple hours. So finally started dabbling in ranked. It's been an experience.
4 duelists, 1 support. Every game.
It's been an experience.
If you're lucky,
Dude.
there's a hero who's a tank.
Yo, we had a game. I had a game earlier.
If you're really unlucky, you get 3 healers, a duelist, and tank, and going, what the hell's happening? Why am I still not getting healed?
Had a game earlier where we had 3 damage, tank, and 2 support. I'm one of the supports, and I'm talking bodied the first game. Bodied. And I'm looking at the stats, the general stats you can see after round 1.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, this dude right here, he needs to swap off damage up front. You buddy, you need to swap. You have 1 kill. The other 2 damage.
Who was he playing?
I think he was playing Iron Man. 1 kill with Iron Man.
Did you have a Hulk?
No, our one tank we had, I think, was Doctor Strange.
He shouldn't have been on Iron Man.
Yeah, he was Iron Man. So anyway,
If you don't have a Hulk, why are you Iron Man?
I don't know, man. And that's
Other than just doing off meta, I mean,
and that's why I'm saying the dude need to switch. The other two, they were doing their job. They both already had I think 9 kills after round 1
I guess the real
apiece,
question is what
so-
was his damage?
So you can't see that. You can't see damage till after the game. So I don't know. But he did get the memo that, oh yeah, I'm kind of sucking it up a little bit. Let me swap to a tank, and then we steamrolled the last 2 games. It's like we had a balanced team, and we all worked together in great synergies. It's just like perfection. It's like perfection. Let's go. So it was it had some good games, had some bad games. Still enjoying it though. Very fun. Marvel Rivals is a lot of fun. Oh, I didn't add this to the weekly wrap up, so let me shout this out. I thought this was hilarious. I saw a report that in the data for Marvel Rivals, they add fake heroes to catch leakers.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
All the leaked heroes that I think I shouted out maybe a month ago, where it was like Ultron and all those that still have not been revealed, obviously, because now we're on the Fantastic Four stretch.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if all those were the fake ones. They were trying to find whoever is in studio leaking shit. I was like, that's great. That's 10 out of 10. That's big brain plays. Respect. So shout out to that though. Marvel Rivals is a lot of fun though. Like I said, just been doing that, some TFT. Had a game earlier. Every set I just try. I don't look anything up about the sets. I literally let's play TFT. Jump to the game. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, what's this? What Rebels? All right, we got Rebels. All right, Automata. What do you do? I don't know. I just dive in. Finally found a build that I liked earlier with Automata, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's meta.
Yeah.
Just get Kog'Maw build as Automata and just let him go turn it.
Yeah, exactly. That was basically it. But what really sealed the deal for me was I got insanely lucky, and the first moment that 6 costs were able to appear, I happened to get one. I got Warwick, and I'm just like, sure.
Warwick's atrocious.
Yeah, I was like, sure, why not? Picked him up, threw him in there, gave him some items, steamrolled the rest of the game between him and Kog'Maw. I was like, oh, this is fun. This is great.
You just watch that enemy board disappear.
Dude, it was so fun. So shout out to that. I got insanely lucky because I didn't even realize there were 6 costs. Again, I don't look anything up when I go into a new set. I just jump in.
That's the whole gimmick in this set.
Yeah. So I had no idea there was even 6 cost. And so when I actually got into the next game and I saw down at the bottom like the percentage chance, I'm like, damn, I really did get lucky getting Warwick when I got him.
Yeah, it's like 0.1.
Yeah. Gabe Newell has a good relationship with Microsoft. Next Xbox will give you access to Steam. Heard it here first. Actually, you did not, because we chatted about that probably 4 months ago. I think because I know you were pissed about it when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I remember saying something about that.
Yeah, about Steam and Xbox being a thing together. You were very pissed off about that.
It's just I don't. I mean, would I like my Steam library and more accessible? Yes. Do I need it on my Xbox? No.
Yeah, because you were mad about like, oh man, the Xbox store is already a pain to go through. Now you're gonna have to also add the Steam store and have to. All right, which store do you have access? Like, which store do you buy from? Like, whole thing. Yeah.
Granted, I don't spend that much time on my Xbox. I'm just getting back into using it again.
Yeah.
It is sorting between looking at Game Pass and looking at the store is for some reason confusing for me.
Yeah. Yep. I do feel you because I got a notification, and I wasn't notified. I saw it on Twitter that Assassin's Creed Mirage was like $11 for the Lunar New Year sale. I'm like, oh, cool. Let me go see what else. And so it took me like 30 seconds to find the sale. And I know that's like, 30 seconds, not that long. In terms of a game store, I feel like that should have been a lot quicker.
A digital game store.
Exactly. I feel like I should be able to go to the game store and get a pop-up or get somewhere immediately on my screen of Lunar New Year sale. Instead, I had to like click this. Oh, there it is, up there in the corner. Let me click that now. So I don't know if I'm stupid or not. I have no idea.
So do you have Assassin's Creed Mirage now?
I don't, but I was probably going to buy it, yeah, because I do want to play it. Shout out to Agent Stone from the Sonic movies because he's the one who stars in the game, so I was wanting to play it. But anyway, never mind.
Oh,
we don't need to go into Sonic today.
Fun fact. So, last week I was complaining about my Tales of Grass SF not coming in.
Yeah.
Is it still not here?
I had to cancel the order.
No shit. No shit.
I had to cancel the order because they just weren't delivering it. It had no updates.
That's unfortunate.
It was trying to tell me that it was not being delivered due to severe weather. I know where it was at. It was at the Amazon facility next to my work.
Yeah.
But they just wouldn't deliver it. I had to cancel the order and get a refund on it.
Somebody was in that break room playing Grace's F.
Yeah, right.
It's like it was to the point where Amazon stopped giving me updates on what was happening with it, and when I clicked on the order, it was just like, yeah, you might want to just cancel this.
Come on, Amazon. He actually bought a physical game.
Have you reordered it?
Nope.
Okay.
See? Amazon. He actually bought a physical game and you ruined it.
So that's just your ultimate sign of just stop pre-ordering from Amazon, John.
I'm done. Not doing it again.
Okay. Because this is your third time?
This is every time I have ordered a physical game through Amazon, like pre-ordered it. It has come in. It has either been delayed and come in like a day or so later, or like I get home and I'm like ready to play it, and it doesn't come in until like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. The physical games are pointless.
Oof.
No, don't say that. Just go pre-order at GameStop. Go pick it up.
Or, I could have just downloaded it in the morning, had it ready to go. Or I could have got it home, started the download.
You could have downloaded it the day before.
I could have downloaded it, had it ready to go. No, I tried to order a game physically, and it didn't come in.
Man, Amazon, you took away a physical buyer from us. He was kind of dipping his toes back in.
He wasn't really. He wasn't dipping his toes back in.
He was.
The Switch was the only console I would buy physical games for anymore, and I always ordered them. I would always pre-order them for them to come in. Done.
Damn you, Amazon! You bastards! You stole a physical buyer from us. It's unfortunate. But no, again, replying to that comment, though, about the Xbox and Steam thing, if that was to happen, I don't think anyone here would be surprised.
No.
I don't think an Xbox Steam collaboration for the next Xbox console, I don't think that's going to surprise us. I think that's actually, I'm going to say a 60% chance it's going to happen. That's my current prediction. So
Gabe's just going to start handing out Game Pass cards.
Yeah. He's going to go to people's houses and hand that out. Yeah, exactly. Maybe the next console is going to have some sort of direct collaboration, direct like linking to the Steam Deck in some capacity as well. Could see that happening too.
That'd be weird because it would have to go both ways.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
It would.
And man, it would be
that's Xbox's handheld.
It would be so weird to like link my Xbox account, my Steam library, just go whoop.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh man, so that's something to watch, man.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
So I mentioned like a couple weeks back, I gave my girlfriend's daughters a way out.
Yeah.
So they've beat it.
Nice.
They both really enjoyed it. But now I have it in my head because one of them said they wanted to play it again where they flip characters and they do the other one's job. Because I don't know if you remember, John, there's quite a bit of moments in A Way Out where you're split apart and you're each doing two different things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm thinking like, so if they do that, I can get a copy of It Takes Two, just slide that to them. Can I prep them for Split Fiction?
Yeah, that's right. Get them ready for
time.
Split. Yeah,
I got time.
Yeah, get them ready for Split Fiction. Game of the Year nominee, baby. Here we go. Valve is more than happy to help Microsoft integrate Xbox Game Pass with Steam, said Gabe Newells. I don't see why not work the other way as well. Win-win. 100% agree, because you got to also keep in mind in terms of Gabe being more than happy to help Phil Spencer and Microsoft, keep in mind all of those multi-year Call of Duty deals that Microsoft was just handing out to try to get
candy,
to try to get that that court case taken care of. Gabe didn't sign his. Gabe flat out did not sign it and said, "I don't see a point in signing it. I trust Microsoft." So yeah, no, Gaiden and Microsoft are tight.
Gabe's been on the Microsoft side forever.
Yeah.
So like any kind of partnership between Steam and Microsoft will be no surprise in any form or fashion.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, I could see the next Xbox console being
Heck,
like,
as far as we
directly
know,
linked with Steam.
you've always been going on about how Microsoft needs to be get a handheld console.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we know, Gabe may be having someone help with that.
True. The Steam Deck 2 could be basically the Xbox handheld.
Because the only thing with Steam Deck, they've always been like, oh yeah, no, you can just completely change the OS if you want to.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could very much just reverse engineer that and just Game Pass, Microsoft OS on it.
Exactly,
There you go.
Exactly. I'm telling you, the next Xbox console could be the base console by Xbox, and the handheld that will go with it will be a Steam Deck 2. The Steam Deck 2 can be directly linked to your Xbox. I could totally see that partnership happening and give everyone exactly what they want. Your portable Xbox.
Yeah. I think I was the only one slightly down on it, purely because I would be worried about like the way the different stores would function if they were linked together.
Yeah.
And like
Especially
it would
with
be a bit clunky because a lot of the games that are on each individual store are available for purchase on both.
Yeah.
So
what if you accidentally buy it on the one store you didn't? Like you want to get someone on the Steam store but accidentally buy it from the Microsoft store?
well, if they were linked together, it'd be weird. Like if you're looking through like the Xbox store and you're like, oh, actually, I want to go look through Steam, and it could just be another tab at the top where it's just like you hit the trigger, you go over to the Steam when you start looking through it. It would be weird to see the like games listed in both.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it's like that's the only thing where it's like there's a lot of options in there that could make it slightly confusing.
Yeah.
That's my only like potential downside to it, is making it a confusing interface.
I feel like one possibility, just to make it quick, simple, to the point, is like, just picture a library where you see cover arts of all the games, right? And on all of the cover arts, you just have symbols of Steam and Xbox symbol at like the bottom of the cover art.
I mean, that would be the simplest.
Yeah,
yes.
where it's like it'll have both symbols. If you buy this, you'll have it in both libraries, or it's like this is an Xbox only, this is a Steam only. That'd probably be the simplest thing to do.
Well, the other thing would be like if you're looking through the Steam store and there's a game, but say that game's available on Game Pass, they'd have to make it where if you were in the Steam interface
it's on
and
Game
clicked
Pass.
on it, it would like if you click to buy, you would have to have like a pop-up or something that say this is also available for Game Pass. Do you want to purchase it or download it? Which could make it confusing.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, they have plenty of ways of like banners and whatnot they are able to put on stuff, so it wouldn't be like too much. It should just have a symbol like he said that says that's like Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
It's weird to think about.
it would be weird to see it until it's figured out.
Logistically, it just sounds very awkward.
It does,
Which was my only like potential downside to it, which is why I had a little pushback with it, is there would have to be a lot. There would have to be a lot done on the interface itself to make it as least confusing as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Which, if this is potentially something that's happening for the next gen, you would like to think all of those kinks are being worked out now. Because like one other tidbit with that interview Phil did is that Phil did say that he just recently got like the full roadmap for the next generation hardware. So if that is something potentially happening, I'm assuming those kinks are being worked out now.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's stuff that would be in talk. They would have something working it out. I just can't understand what it would be yet, which is why I have.
You need something
issues
visual
with
to
it.
see it.
You need
Until I see a visual of how it would work, I have issues with it.
Right. I get that. You guys ready to start going to the weekly wrap up?
Sure.
All right, let's go to the weekly wrap up, finish up the show. So the first thing, the Horizon MMO was reported to be canceled, but then it was immediately like debunked that it wasn't canceled with like job listings by NC Soft. But then there was also rumors that NC Soft was filing for bankruptcy, and it's I don't know what's happening.
We may get a Horizon MMO.
We'll see.
This is one of those where it's like, I mean, with how we kind of do this here, a lot of times you hear stuff, you got to mention it.
Yeah.
But there's also one where if we don't see an official announcement from like the studio or someone, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I did think it was kind of funny that someone put together a full list of all the live service games, and just looking at this list is just, man, it's something else. I mean, like, you've got Destruction All Stars, Gran Turismo 7, and Helldivers 2, the only 3 to release. One of them being a massive flop, the other 2 being successes. Which also, shout out, I saw that apparently GT7 has sold like 14 million copies. So shout out to that. Then we know the obvious massive success of Helldivers. You had Concord that was released and immediately taken down in like a week and shut down. You have multiple, like, to be determined to see how they go with Fair Games from Haven Studios. The Horizon multiplayer by Guerrilla, not to be confused with the Horizon MMO. There are 2 different things happening at the same time. And then obviously Marathon with Bungie. Then the Horizon MMO, we'll see what happens there. Media Molecule live service game. I don't know what the fuck that is. Someone please tell me. Then Gummy Bears by Bungie, which is the MOBA Smash hybrid. Jason Bundle's LA studio game. I don't know what that is either. Unannounced, whatever. And then you have numerous other canceled games like The Last of Us Online, a Twisted Metal live service game, Spider-Man The Great Web, London Studio live service game, God of War live service game, and Bin Studio live service game. It's all canceled. So it's like, what a list. What a list.
I forgot about the Twisted Metal.
Yeah, so did I.
By Fire Sprite. Fire Sprite was doing that one. So, what a list. What a list of cancellations, man. You had 4 games come out. One is one of the biggest flops in gaming history. One, it was just, it was a flop. And then you have 2 that, okay, yeah, they're doing well. It's just like, God bless. What a
One's
list.
Gran Turismo, so I mean, it was going to be fine regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the ultimate surprise of Helldivers 2.
Yes.
So, what a list. All right, let's move on. So, John mentioned this earlier, but EA did say that Dragon Age of Vilgard reportedly missed its expectation by 50%, with only reaching about 1.5 million players. And again, and like I mentioned earlier, it even reaching that, it has to really do that it's Dragon Age and BioWare. Those names alone carried it.
And I just want to say, like, when we initially, or like as we've talked about it, yeah, Dragon Age of Vilgard, it got a lot of criticism, and people still complain about it. I'm still very adamant that in 2 to 3 years' time, this game is gonna like kind of have its little resurgence over time, and people are gonna talk about this being a great game.
I think so too, because it's a fun game.
It is not a 9 out of 10. It is not a 10 out of 10. Like I said before, this is the most 7 out of 10 game that I played.
Yeah.
But it is a game that is, for what it is good.
Yeah, it's very fun.
And it's like there are a ton of people out there that are just enjoying it. I think over time, this is going to be a people's backlog game that's going to just slowly raise up the ratings for people.
Yep. I'm gonna make that into a TikTok for you in a short, and see if it ages just as well, just as your Starfield one did. I got you. Also, there's a rumor that Astral Chain 2 is in development. Hey, John, remember this game?
I saw that and I was like, why?
I was about to say, I'm not sure. Because, I mean, I think it succeeded, but I don't think it was that good of a game.
It wasn't that good of a game.
I
He
didn't
was
think
really
so.
excited for it. He
I
even
was
bought
really-
it.
I mean, I remember him being
Yeah,
excited
he
for
bought
it.
it. He's got it. Do you still have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I didn't think it really had that big of a following behind it
It
afterwards
really
either.
didn't.
I think it's one of those, like, it's one of those. Is it a platinum game?
Yep.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think that was a platinum game.
Yep.
I think it's a game that like, it's one of those games that comes out that could get like any number of sequels because the bar for it being a success is kind of low.
Right.
Like, I mean, it was a fine like little action game. It wasn't anything
Yeah.
special.
Yeah. Well, apparently it might be getting a second. Could be a Switch 2 title. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 will not be next-gen exclusive. I know I saw some gamers worried about that, and this was in an interview where they did confirm that, yeah, you'll be able to play this on the PS5. It's not going to just come out for the PS6. And I think they even mentioned it's going to come out for the PS4, which, can we please stop that?
No.
Please.
Dude, PS2 went on for ages after
I
PS3.
know. So either way, won't be next gen exclusive. Shout out to that. I thought this was funny just because the reaction. Smash leaks have officially started, boys. And the one that I saw, it's bullshit. It's bogus. I'm not even gonna mention all.
We don't even have a Smash game announced, do we?
No, we don't.
No,
But that's
the
why
people. It
that
has
time.
been so long.
It's that time.
It is like normally this would be the point where it's been like a year or so past when we should have heard something.
Yeah. No, I mean, like the leak that I saw with the list of characters, it was like, again, it was kind of like a Smash Ultimate approach where it was a short list of new characters, just like Smash Ultimate was. I mean, it's possible, but I viewed it as a bogus list. I just loved the reaction from everybody where it's just like, oh man, Smash Links, we're all the way back, baby. Switch 2's on the horizon. So I was just like, okay, all right, we're really back in the mode now.
What's the list? Like Waluigi, Paulino, Bombo.
Okay, Waluigi, yes. It was Waluigi, Toon Zelda. I can't even remember the other. Those are the only two. But it was a list where it's just like, I could see these happening, sure. But, I mean, it's whatever, It's just, it was more so everyone's reaction to it of, oh, yeah, baby, Smash Leaks. We are all the way back for Switch 2 release season. It's going to be great. Pokemon TCG Pocket next full set revealed the Space Time Smackdown, focusing on Gen 4.
And it's coming out this next week.
Yep, I've got 250 hourglasses. I'm ready to go.
I think I've got like 180 or so.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying as much. I log in like every day and a half or 2 days or so.
Yep.
I've fallen behind. I haven't logged in like a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, it's when I remember. It's like every 2 or 3 days. A lot of times where I'll just open 2 packs, like do my wonder picks and move on with my day.
Yep. I log in every day, open the packs, wonder picks, grab the login bonus, log out. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm just enjoying collecting the cards.
Yeah.
Right now. That's where I'm at.
Kinda same. It's kind of all I'm doing.
Yep. Let's see. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage Tape 2, delayed by Don't Nod. It's now set for April 15th when it was going to come out in March. Keep in mind, Tape 1 will be coming out in February. So if you're going to be checking out Tape 1 immediately, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for Tape 2. I thought this was kind of interesting. Apparently, Phantom Blade Zero has been receiving a ton of funding calls to the point that they had to be like, okay, hey, appreciate it, but we're good. But they've received a ton of funding calls after the success of Black Myth Wukong.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I can only wonder. There was a new Cypher controller revealed. It is a red one. So if you like the Cypher controllers,
Nice.
yeah, here's another controller for you to pick up. It does look nice. I love my Ghost one. The Ghost one is super sick. And Marvel Snap seeks a new publisher after the recent takedown that nobody saw coming. Because I thought the whole like ban of TikTok was just TikTok, but no, it was everything relating to ByteDance. Like Lemonade went down, Marvel Snap went down, a few other apps went down. Because I didn't even realize that Marvel Snap was under ByteDance in some capacity.
Yeah.
So yeah, Marvel Snap was down for it was down longer than TikTok was. I think it was down for about a day and a half, but now Marvel Snap and God, what's the name of the developer? Something Diner. They are now seeking a new publisher, so something like that does not happen again. So shout out to that. You boys got any other news you guys want to shout out?
I got nothing.
Got anything?
No.
Okay. It's time for Gamesthetic Game of the Week.
Alex,
I am prepared. I am prepared, boys.
was it your choice or was it from a comment?
No, it is my choice today. I was prepared at like 11 o'clock today. I already knew what I wanted to do. So I want to do what I've got for Gamesthetic Game of the Week. I wanted to go ahead and knock it out now before there comes a day where I cannot shout it out. Because with that said, it is a multiplayer game. That's why I want to go ahead and shout it out now. I feel it the most appropriate time to shout it out based on a little rumor that I saw for next month's Game Pass games. My Gamesthetic Game of the Week is going to be one of my favorite multiplayer gaming experiences that I've ever had, and that is Heroes of the Storm. There is a rumor right now that Heroes of the Storm will be part of February's Game Pass lineups to the similar vein of what League of Legends is, where you can basically link your account and get access to extra stuff. In this case, it'd probably be skins and stuff like that you would normally purchase, or just heroes, because I believe all the heroes and HOTS are purchased in game. So probably get all the heroes. So Heroes of the Storm for Gamesthetic Game of the Week. It is an online multiplayer battle arena is how they classify it. It's a MOBA, but they Blizzard likes to say we're not a MOBA. You're a MOBA. But the thing that's interesting about HOTS that kind of makes it stand out above some other games within that genre is that it is so team focused. It is not as easy as it is for League and some other MOBAs where one player can just pop off and carry because they're leveling themselves. No, you all level together. So if you do have one player popping off, yes, you can help level your team up, or if one player is sucking, then that is helping level the other team. It's that team mechanic that helps it make it stand out. And during HOTS' prime, where like our friend group was playing it all the time, that time of multiplayer gaming and playing that is one of the most memorable gaming experience for online gaming experiences for me personally, up there in the ranks of like Halo 3, Halo Reach, Modern Warfare 2, Gears 2 and 3. Like it goes up there with just the sheer amount of fun that the game is, featuring a large cast of, WoW, StarCraft, Diablo, Overwatch, as well as some older titles like The Lost Vikings and some HOTS original characters like Orthena. Or Orthea, sorry. Orthea is her name. But it's a great game. It's obviously extremely died off with the killing of HGC, was kind of the first nail in the coffin, and then just steadily moving developers off the property. But since the Xbox purchase has happened, it seems like they've been updating the game more than they ever have before. And I say that it's only updated like 4 times a year, but that's better than once every 2 years, right? So it is still alive in some capacity. I think it coming to PC Game Pass, possibly giving you all the champions, I think could potentially give it one last breath of life before it gets taken off. So if you've played MOBAs, but maybe you haven't really vibed with them too much, give HOTS a try. All 3 of us have played it, and I know for a fact they can agree with me. It is one of the easier ones to play, for sure. So if you've played MOBAs before, but you've never really gotten into them because of the skill level that is kind of taken into it and just all the mechanics to know, give HOTS a try if it comes to PC Game Pass. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's one of my favorite multiplayer experiences that I've ever had. A lot of fun characters to play. So hopefully that rumor is true and it does come to PC Game Pass.
Just going to speak on HOTS real quick. While games like League and Dota require a lot more individual mechanical skill, Heroes of Storm is more like the way it was talked about. In its prime was League and Dota were the individual games where you learn mechanics, and HOTS is where you learned how to team fight and do team objectives.
Yep.
And it is a great. I mean, it is a great game. It was fun. It wasn't my preferred MOBA, but it is still a good game in its own right. Just want to speak on what you said, though, where one person can't take over the game. You used to play with me. You knew I'd sit around in my own little lane on my little Probius bot, do my own thing, and you guys were amazed with what happened.
Our friend DS says the same thing with his Gul'dan play, and he was a damn good Gul'dan player. So I get it. I get it.
On average, though, you will not be able to take over a game as a single person.
Yeah, on average, yeah. No, there are certain cases where you truly can, because like some of the tail end of my time playing HOTS, where I really just did not want to give a shit, because I was like, I just want to play. I played almost consistently murky, and I'm just like, let me go do my thing. I'll take care of us, boys. Don't worry about it. So I do feel you with the Probius play. That was me with murky there towards the end. But no, very good game, though. Definitely check it out before it goes away forever, whether it be a year or 2. I don't know how much longer the game has a life. But check it out. Here's the Storm Gamestead Game of the Week. All right, let me hit some music, and let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Let us know what you thought about the Xbox Developer Direct and how you're looking forward to the games coming out this first quarter.
Yeah, do everything he said more. And if you like what you saw with us, we usually do these live streams every Saturday, about 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll see you about next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we will see you about next week.
You already forgot about that.
Yeah, because we have the Royal Rumble. We really want to watch the Royal Rumble.
They want to watch the Royal Rumble.
We want to watch the Royal Rumble, me and John. So we'll find out what the show, if we do the show next week or if we take a break or just do the show earlier in the day. I'm fine with just doing the show earlier in the day if you guys are, and do the Royal Rumble.
We'll have to figure out what time the Rumble is.
Yeah, we'll figure that out and we'll go from there. So either way, make sure to do everything they said more. Check out the Patreon. We'd appreciate that. Shout out to Tier 2 patron Hannah. We appreciate you. We will be getting your video request out here in the near future. Join the Discord. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Do not shake your head, Zach. Be more positive. Check out some Rogue Energy and Agent Ink with the referral links down below. Have a great day. Bye.